Hi guys, welcome to the Fearless Intuition channel. Welcome back if you have been here before. And for those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Betsy. I do astrology and tarot readings. I'm also a spiritual teacher and really like to help people in their spiritual journey. There's a lot of content here, but you can also find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and now on TikTok as well, doing astrology and tarot and all of the content. So if you could like and subscribe if you like the video. We're here for the Scorpio new moon, which is happening on Thursday, November 4th at 5:14 p.m. Eastern time. So wherever you are in the world. And this new moon is happening at 12 degrees. Normally I would show you guys the chart and we would look at it and analyze it, but I've been having technical difficulties. Can't wait till Mercury gets out of his post-shadow period, which is also happening during this new moon time. But this is a very interesting new moon, so let's chat about it for a minute. It's at 12 degrees and it is directly opposite Uranus, which is retrograde in Taurus right now. And with Uranus and Taurus, we've seen a lot of changes. Uranus is the planet of sudden and unexpected changes. It's also about innovation. It's about leveling up. It really is about like the evolution and the innovation of things, the new stuff, right? Doing new things, trying different things. And with Uranus and Taurus, Taurus being the sign of the material value, ruled by Venus and, you know, the environment and the material, but also what it is that we value. We've seen the value of money changing. A lot of, you know, cryptocurrency is becoming more and more popular every single day. So we are watching money change with this Uranus and Taurus. We're watching the weather, which Taurus is an earth sign and very much rules a lot of the weather stuff. And we're seeing a lot of that happening as well. So there's been some really odd weather as well since Uranus has been in Taurus since 2018. So this new moon is opposing Uranus exact at 12 degrees. And so collectively, and it's also squaring Saturn. Saturn is in Aquarius. So we will have this T-square happening. Saturn is at, I believe it's 7 degrees Aquarius. Not an exact square, but pretty close enough to do enough damage. So I wouldn't really encourage manifesting during this new moon because we do have Saturn in the mix, and Uranus is a very intense energy. Scorpio is a very intense energy. There's just a lot of intensity in the air right now. I wouldn't necessarily manifest, but I am holding a meditation in the evening. All of that information is in the description box if you'd like to register for a spot. So it'll be the evening of the new moon. It'll be on November 4th at 9 p.m. Eastern. Sorry. Originally it was at 8 p.m. So now it's at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you know, with this new moon, the biggest thing that I'm telling everybody, because we're all here to change constantly. There's no such thing as someone going through life and never changing and never evolving. A lot of us in this world can be very, very stubborn and resist that change and resist and resist and resist. And through resisting that change and through resisting what your soul wants to shift and do and experience and see, that's when we become very miserable. When we know that there are shifts and changes coming and we can feel it, and usually it comes with very intense energies, like the last 2 years have shown us, right? With all of these intense energies, again, if we resist the changes that are coming up, that's where the misery is. That's where the suffering comes from, is the resistance to the change. When your soul is like, yes, it's time to take another shift and move another direction and clear out some space so that we can do something new, and the fear inside of you from your ego, because maybe you tried to do something new in the past and you totally failed, or you were told your whole life that this is how you had to live. And so this shift and this change comes up, and that fear comes up, and we resist, right? And then that's when the suffering starts, because your essence, the very energetic signature of who you are, wants to go one direction. And here we are resisting that direction to go in. I mean, of course that would produce suffering. So this is one of those energies that is really a catalyst to help all of us shift, change, and see where things need to pivot in our lives. And the reason why things need to pivot in our lives, again, is because nothing is ever going to be the same as it was in the moment before. And so we're constantly evolving, and that's what we need to pay attention to, right? The constant evolution of things. Also, with this new moon, we're starting a new cycle of eclipses coming up with the Scorpio and Taurus axes. The next full moon that we're going to have in 2 weeks on November 19th is going to be the Taurus full moon, and it'll be a partial lunar eclipse as the north and south node, which are the nodes of the moon, shift to Taurus and Scorpio axes, where right now it's in the Gemini Sagittarius, and that's where we had our eclipses for the last year and a half. And now we're moving to the Scorpio and Taurus axes as the north node moves into Taurus. And so this new moon, the changes that are showing up in your life and the way that you're recognizing that you need to pivot, the things that you have been resisting that are really like in your face, that you really can't resist anymore. Pay attention to what that theme is, especially where the axes of Taurus and Scorpio are, because that's where the theme is going to be. And this eclipse cycle starts now and ends in May of 2023. So we have a ways to go, but there's going to be a running theme. And during eclipse season, that is a time for you to wipe things out of your life that are no longer serving your energy and you don't want to put your energy towards anymore, or you don't need to put your energy towards anymore, whether it's people, whether it's things and situations. And if you've been feeling the need to change something in your life, and your life looks exactly the same as it did a year ago or 2 years ago, and you're feeling this need to change, and you think, oh my gosh, maybe I just need therapy instead. Like a lot of times when we think we need therapy, we actually need to be listening to our souls. I'm not saying don't get therapy. If you feel like you need to get therapy, please go get therapy. That's not but, there's also, when we talk about really getting in touch with the things that are going on inside of us and paying attention to that and then following that flow, that's where we alleviate the suffering in our lives, is when we really listen to what our soul wants and what our journey wants. And this intense energy is like the big, bright, red flashing light that everybody needs right now to show them what it is that's not working. Do you see? So I wish the best for everybody during this eclipse season. And there's no need to be afraid of it. That's the thing, is like there's absolutely no need to be afraid of the changes that are coming. Because when we talk about changes, when spiritual teachers or astrologers or whatever, when we talk about how the cosmos are doing this to change our lives, it's not a fear-based thing. It's not like they're picking on you specifically, right? This is about stepping into your purpose. This is about, allowing yourself to evolve, moving up, leveling up. Astrology isn't here to ruin your life. Astrology is a guide. It's like a map and a guide to kind of help you along the way and let you know what energies you're contending with as you move through your journey. And there are times of great leveling up. And when we have times of great evolution and great leveling up, there's always going to be a very intense moment first. You know, you've heard the saying, it's always the darkest before the dawn, or something like, it's like, you know, right before we start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's when things get the most tense. And that's when things get, you know, the most painful sometimes. And that's where people start to be like, well, I don't want to go through that. I don't want to have to feel that kind of pain. And that's just life. Like, that's just what we signed up to be, to be in a human experience. That's what we signed up to do. So for us to literally say, like, I don't want to do it. It's like being the 4-year-old, like sitting in the corner pouting, like, I don't want to play this game anymore. I mean, sorry, you signed up for. So anyway, it's a very interesting time. We're living through some pretty unprecedented energies. There's so much going on. So really, you know, this is why myself and other spiritual teachers will push a lot of self-care, really making sure that you are living with your soul's intention in mind, making sure that you're doing everything from a present moment stance. You know, you don't have to run into the future or look into the past for you to know what you need to be doing right now. All you have to do is look at your environment right now and see what it is that you need to be doing for yourself. Because your environment is going to be a reflection of how you feel, right? So really pay attention to the theme that this new moon, before we hit the eclipse season with the next full moon, this one is going to be a very important one for you to pay attention to. Whatever theme in your life is going to come. I've already noticed what's coming up. Let's look at some cards, guys. All right. I got to get a little bit situated here. Let's see what it is that we need to know for this new moon. But yeah, I'm already noticing where the axis is for me, and, you know, what it is that I have to pay attention to, you know, in a big way. In a big way. Huge, actually. Yesterday with that Mercury square Pluto, it was like, I just wanted to rage. Like, it was really so, and like frustratingly, whoa, they're flying everywhere, you guys. I think we've got them. Okay. Nice. Okay. I'm using the Sun and Moon tarot deck. My love gave them to me, and I really like them. So we have the Princess of Wands. This is the message for the Scorpio new moon and can be good for the next 2 weeks. Princess of Wands, Ace of Wands, Princess of Pentacles. The Princess cards are the Page cards, so it's basically the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune, the Five of Swords, and then we have the Prince of Swords, which is the Knight of Swords. So there's some kind of message about, there's like a new development, basically. This Ace of Wands is showing us a new development that's happening, and it's creating a pretty big shift with the Wheel of Fortune down here. But that Ace of Wands is the universe handing us an opportunity, and handing us an opportunity that can really push us forward in our journey. It's super passionate. It's like really getting us, it's like kind of like an activation, almost like getting us all ready to go for the next part, is sort of like what the Ace of Wands is. The Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Wands would be the messenger. So there's some kind of message that's coming through, and it's really to start this new adventure or this new journey, which is what the Page of Pentacles would represent, the student. So you're really beginning a new kind of venture in your life. The Wheel of Fortune, here's the thing. I feel like if this shift, it's almost as if the shift isn't happening fast enough for some of you. That Five of Swords and the Prince of Swords, which would be the Knight of Swords. So we have the Five of Swords and the Knight of Swords, and both of those are sort of aggressive energies. So during this time, we also, like next week, we're going to have a really, really intense square between Mercury and Mars and Saturn. You can hear all about that in the weekly energy update that I do for the memberships and for Vimeo. You can purchase it on Vimeo as well, but you can become a member and get all of the extendeds for the month and all of that. But anyway, so I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more extensively on the weekly energy update, but that's happening next week. And so there's a lot of aggression, a lot of tension building up, and it's almost as if we feel like, plus Mercury's coming out of his shadow period at the same time that this new moon is happening. And there will be explosive, emotionally explosive, like it's going to be a tense time, right? And we're already feeling it. Like there's been a buildup to it and already feeling it. And it's really about how are you reacting to it? How are you allowing yourself to slow down enough to recognize how you're reacting to the situations? Are you getting, like yesterday, I did not react to the thing that happened yesterday very well at all. And it was like nobody's fault, but it just was like such a stressful moment that I was rage, like overreaction rage. And there was, everything's fine now. Like it's not even a big deal. It wasn't even that big of a deal, but these energies are going to intensify everything. And with Saturn involved next week, there's that karmic aspect. We don't want to build new lessons for ourselves through this eclipse season. Trust me. Like don't do and say things, especially because Mercury and Mars are in cahoots together in Scorpio. Thank you very much. Don't do and say things that are going to be something that you have to be fixing for years to come, because that could very well be a possibility. So let's see with this Princess of Wands, Page of Wands energy, this messenger, see what the message is that we need, or that's coming. Okay. Oh yeah, here it is. This is the thing, you guys. I don't know. Don't shoot the messenger is basically what I'm about to say. So we have the World and the Ten of Swords. It's going to be intense. It's going to be hard. But it's also going to be the end of a cycle. Remember how I said that it has to be super, super intense before we get to that next leveling up phase. And that's basically what's happening right now. It's the pressure cooker. And so with the World and the Ten of Swords, we are definitely closing out a cycle. And it is really super uncomfortable. You might be making it worse in your own mind than it's actually going to be. Just kind of remember that sometimes we can build up stories in our mind that aren't necessarily the truth when things are a little bit awkward or a little bit just, distorted. Try and do things that bring you a lot of peace right now. Three of Swords on the Ace of Wands. This is what I'm saying. Like there can be such anger and passion and extra emotions right now that you can really get yourself hurt, or you can hurt somebody else's feelings very easily. So you have to pay attention to how you're walking and to how you're speaking and to how you are interacting with everybody, you guys. Seriously, even this reading is intense. That Three of Swords with the Ace of Wands. And even for some of you are also recognizing that as Venus moves into Capricorn on Friday, all of the karmic relationship stuff too that's going to start coming up for you too, and boundaries and everything. There's a lot of super hard stuff happening in November, and the first 2 weeks are just the thick of it, the quicksand, you know, and then we get into eclipse season with the Taurus full moon at the end. Like, we're not the rest of this year cleaning things out for sure. So we have the King of Wands and the Prince of Cups on the Princess of Pentacles. So on the Page of Pentacles. There could be some kind of apology, feeling like there's an apology from the person who maybe was a little too quick with their words or a little too sharp with their words. If somebody comes back and is apologizing to you during this time, I really want you to be discerning about whether they're apologizing for the sake of not feeling bad about it themselves, or if they're actually apologizing because they care that you feel how you feel about it. Like, that's a genuine need to pay attention to kind of situation, you know? So let's see, Wheel of Fortune. There will definitely be shifts if things in your life look exactly the same today as they like in 6 months from now. If your life looks the same 6 months from now, then you're probably you're probably going to be pretty miserable, to be quite honest. The Nine of Swords on the Wheel of Fortune. You guys, here's the thing about all of this. Yes, the energies are intense. Yes, things are going to be difficult. Yes, there will probably be hard conversations to be had, and there will be difficult situations to go through, and you know, we're going to have to, you know, work with ourselves and other people's energies in a different kind of way. But that Nine of Swords, like really beating yourself up or really sitting here in fear because, oh my gosh, things are going to be changing, and all of the astrology is saying that things are going to be changing. Sitting in the fear of that is only going to perpetuate your suffering through it, or your suffering in it. Okay? So, allowing yourself to get through that shift, and allowing yourself to get through because what can truly happen is we have the Nine of Swords here, because with the Five of Swords, it's like the record, that broken record in your mind over and over and over again, replaying everything constantly all the time. So let's see what the Five of Swords and the Prince of Swords. Bottom of the deck is the Six of Cups. Okay. You may find yourself in painful moments from the past as well. The energies can be so intense that you may even find yourself in energies from the past and feeling like there might be some triggering, or might be some like certain things happening because of past situations. And a lot of the times when that happens, when that stuff comes up is, you know, I mean, the more we allow ourselves to dig deeper into those wounds from the past and heal them, the less we are projecting those wounds and painful things onto other people. And the more that we are allowing ourselves to say, I know that I'm in the wrong. I know that what I said was in the wrong. I know that what I did was in the wrong. It's a lot easier to get to be the adult, right? Some people say that's rising above. If you want to call it rising above, that's fine. But that doesn't mean that you're the weakest link. If you're the one that actually, because taking accountability is actually the strongest and sexiest thing that you can do in any given circumstance, 100%. If you're not taking accountability and you're just blaming everybody else for all the things that happen in your life, and you're playing the victim with everything you can imagine, who's going to want to come and be the bigger person with you, right? If you can't ever actually take accountability for some things, nobody else is going to want to have that camaraderie with you, because they're going to be like, that dude just thinks that he's right all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? So we have the Two of Cups on the Five of Swords. When you're taking care of your own emotions first and coming together with other people with a full cup in front of you, and you're not constantly depleting it, right? Or if you are depleting it, you're filling it up. You're filling your own cup up and not waiting for other people to do it, right? That Two of Cups is like bringing something sweeter into a negative situation. I feel like there's kind of an argument or something happens, a situation happens, and then one person wants to come and apologize, but I have a feeling that like there has to be a shift of an ego. And maybe this was an argument from the past. Maybe this was something that happened in the past and they're showing back up and they want to say, I'm sorry for it. Eclipses can bring exes back too. You just have to be very discerning, and you have to be willing to ask yourself, what you want to do in that situation. Nobody else can make that decision for you. Nobody else can answer that for you. When it comes down to it, it's this decision that you're going to have to make. And I think that that's what the fear is for a lot of people. What if I make the wrong decision? What if this person's supposed to be the love of my life? Do you think the person is the love of your life? Would you want the love of your life to treat you the way that they treated you? You got to ask yourself the hard questions, though. So then we have the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands on the Prince of Swords. If you feel like you are being overworked, if you feel like you are overdoing it, if you feel like things are moving too fast and you're losing control of stuff, it is nobody else's fault but your own. 100%. You're the one that made the choices and made all the commitments that you made. And so when you allow yourself to take a step back and say, I need to take accountability for what I'm doing here. And this new moon is going to show us that accountability, where we need to take accountability for things. Because a lot of times those unexpected changes happen because of choices that we made in the past. Choice after choice after choice after choice after choice. And then the unexpected change happens. We don't like that the unexpected change happens. We throw a temper tantrum because of it, etc., etc. But with the Queen of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands here, I feel like the nurturing, the Queen of Pentacles makes me feel like you guys need to nurture yourselves. If you feel like that you are way overwhelmed, way in over your head with all of this stuff, take a step back. Let yourself nurture the inner you, right? And remember that not everybody is your enemy. There are reasons why certain people have to be removed from our lives. And it's not because every single person in our lives is a piece of shit and they're the enemy. The reason why they have to be removed is because they had their time and they had their space in our life and they played their role. And then now our energies are no longer matching up together. The vibration doesn't work and it's very uncomfortable. If you are willing to preserve your peace, you have to be willing to make hard choices. And you also have to be willing to see when the expiration date of certain relationships are and not continue. Because the longer you stay after an expiration date of a relationship, the longer you stay, the harder it gets. So you can even I remember I stayed in a marriage that far beyond the time I should have. You know what I mean? And we can see it, hindsight. That's why that whole saying, hindsight is 20/20. We can see the expiration date clearly after it's all happened. But during that time, we have to be aware enough and be living in the present moment enough. So the meditation that's happening for the Scorpio new moon, November 4th, 9 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific, and wherever else you are in the world. It will be recorded. So if you're not able to be there live, you will also get a recording of it. And I send it out about an hour to 2 hours after the meditation's over. It's meditation, it's Reiki. We are going to be doing a meditation to embody we're going to be inhabiting our bodies. We're going to be learning how to be in the present moment because we want to make sure that we are feeling our own energy and in the present moment as these shifts and changes happen so that we know how to react properly to them instead of overreacting. And so this meditation is going to help us to inhabit our bodies and stay there, hopefully stay there. It's a practice. We'll talk about that during the meditation. If you would like to register for your spot for that, all of that information is in the description box. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful new moon. Please be safe. We'll see you later. Bye.